Have you been listening to this show for a while? Do you like this show? Do you want to see it continue? There's one way you can do that. You can actually visit our Patreon page and donate some money to make sure the show continues. That's the only way we fund the show, the only way we make it happen. Go to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns, find out bonus stuff you can get for supporting us, and make sure the show keeps on trucking. I downloaded the book on my Kindle and never got around to it.
The future, am I right?
Am I right?
Science fiction. What a dystopia. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens.
Anthony, it's been a little while since we've gone full horror show.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, I think it has.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of my personal life and not the show.
No, that's much more recent.
Yeah, that's every day. It's every waking hour.
Every so often we like to check in. The show is called We Have Concerns, and some of our concerns are a little esoteric, a little nebulous. And then there are the fucking horror shows.
Yeah.
That everyone should be afraid of, and it's kind of our job to point them out.
This is when it turns from a science podcast into one of those see how long you can watch without blinking kind of shows.
Oh, and it's funny that you say blinking because...
Did you say Abe Lincoln?
Abe Lincoln. It's funny that you say Abe Lincoln because don't go to the theater. Am I right? This comes from Joshua Brown, who sends us a story about eye worms.
No, you're thinking of earworms, and that's just a phrase for a song that gets in your ear.
No, this is a worm that gets into your eyeball and lives there and squirms
like a good
around.
Film.
It's an eye worm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, one of those movies that you can't stop thinking about.
A nice painting is an eye worm, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about,
like
Jeff.
The Scream. I just can't stop thinking about that. It's a total eye worm.
It's an eye worm. It's been there since I saw it. Right? That's what we're talking about, and we can move on.
No, we're talking about tiny little translucent worms that crawl into your eye and live there and breed.
Oh, now I think I've had them my whole life. The moment you say that, and I knew it was coming, and I just now I feel like I'm going to close my eyes and I can see them swimming around, and they're probably killing me from inside my eyes.
Yeah.
That's what you just did to me.
Yep. And allow me to extrapolate that fear into a larger reality.
Please do give context to this.
Yeah. An Oregon woman was experiencing red, scratchy, irritated eyes. And she went to the doctor, and the doctor was very surprised to see that he could pluck tiny worms out of her eye that were causing all of the irritation and itchiness.
Wait, why was he surprised?
Because it's not supposed to happen.
Okay, so eye worms are new. That's where we're getting.
There are two kinds of worms that can get in your eye. This is a new
one is a really beautiful painting.
Yeah. And the other is a movie that you just can't stop thinking about.
Stop thinking about it.
This third one, though, is a real worm. It's the Thelazia gulosa worm, which was previously only known to infect cattle. Guess what? They're in humans now.
Oh, no.
Get your eyes ready for this one. Because much like the advertisements for the strain, remember those advertisements for the strain with the worms coming out of the eyes? Because they thought that was such a crazy science fiction idea that would be horrific. Now it's real. It's real.
I remember that it made me never want to watch The Strain. I remember that it did the exact opposite of what they thought it was going to do.
They actually had to pull those ads down because so many people were having violent reactions to them.
No shit. They were like, here's what's going to make people want to watch this television show. It's a television show about worms going into people's eyes. And everybody's like, oh, okay, well, I'll pass then. What I'm going to do is not watch that show.
I don't need to feel that. Well, that's what our show is doing now.
Great.
Because
Patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.
Support it. This woman thought she had a straight eyelash, and she just could not get that eyelash out of her eye. Doctor pulled out a wriggling translucent worm about a half an inch long, and it wasn't the only one in her eye.
Okay. Did they do damage?
Here's the good news. If
they gave her supervision.
She can see worms beneath the surface of the earth.
These worms are called nature's LASIK.
They corrected her stigmatism.
Yeah. That's the good news, right?
No.
Okay.
The good news is they did not bore into her eye. They only lived on the surface of her eye.
Did not bore. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, no, they only lived on the surface, just hanging on the surface of her eyeball in that wonderful, beautiful little moisture layer between her eye and her eyelid. That's where they lived.
Mm-hmm.
So the good news is, the real positive upswing of this is they didn't actually bore past her eye into her brain or anything like that.
But they could have and they would have? Do they do that in cattle?
It turns out they don't do that. These worms don't do that. All they want to do is hang out in that moist little layer.
Like a sauna.
Yeah,
your eyes are the sauna of the worm.
It's they call it a worm retreat.
Yeah,
where they go
worms
for the weekend,
wriggling around on a cow eyeball.
So nice for them.
Just like, it's good to get away.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what have you been doing all week? Because I'll tell you what I've been doing all week.
What's that?
Just fucking eating dirt, shitting out dirt all week.
Oh, you should really get away. You should go to the cow eye upstate.
I'd love to go upstate to the cow eye, but I'll tell you what, there's just so much dirt to eat and shit. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get away.
You know what?
It feels like the more dirt I eat and shit, the more dirt there is. It's like I keep burrowing and burrowing, and it's like, I don't know, it's like we're tiny and the earth is maybe like miles deep. Does it ever feel that way?
I've never had that particular feeling because I don't really, I'm not a deep thinker, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
In the fact that I don't think about how deep things are.
Right. It works on 2 levels.
Yeah. But I only think about one level.
Yeah.
Because that's how deep I think the world is. Because I'm not a deep thinker.
Right.
I will say this. You need to give yourself a break and get to that cow eye up north. You know what it's like living in that cow eye?
Tell me.
Just like an afternoon. It's amazing. Everything's moist and warm. And every so often the light goes away and then it comes back. It's like a quick little moment. Like you might call a blink of an eye. Right? And
now what is an eye?
You got me there.
So they just want to hang out. It's just warm and moist and good in what they want.
Yes.
What do they eat?
That's a great question.
Dreams.
They feed on tears. And I'm not kidding. I know it sounds like I'm kidding, but they feed on tears.
Oh, of course they do. They live in your eye and they feed on tears.
Want to guess how many worms were plucked from this Oregon woman's eye?
15.
Wow. Real close. 14. So by Price is Right rules, you would not.
I would have lost.
You would have lost, but real close.
But it's also sweet to know that they only go in couples.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's
14.
lovely.
Well, it's a retreat upstate to the cow's eye.
I got a quick question for you.
Please.
Would you rather be the woman who had 14 contact lenses pulled out of her eye, or the woman who had 14 worms pulled out of her eye, and why?
Well, I feel like the contact lady is that's on you.
Sure.
That's on you.
Sure.
You are not smart.
Okay.
So in the sense that it would impugn my own.
We're talking about my mother. That's fine. Go on.
It would, in the sense that if I were that lady, it would impugn my own intelligence and prove me to be a true idiot. I don't think I would want that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like I would be able to sleep again if it was just contacts.
Yeah.
And I would never be able to sleep again if it were
because contacts is not live.
Right.
They're not living things.
Yeah. And
they are plastic things.
I can avoid contacts for the rest of my life.
But at the same time, they do more damage, it sounds like. It sounds like these worms
can
just hang out and be worms.
They don't do any serious damage. They cause irritation and itchiness, but the 14 worms, they really didn't cause any permanent problem.
Do they know why she had these worms?
You're not going to like it. You asked the question, but you're not going to like it.
Well, I want to keep it from happening.
Yeah, that's the reason you're not going to like it.
Oh, dear.
You can't keep it from happening.
Oh, no.
Their theory is these worms now can be spread by flies. So they can go from place to place by flies. So it's not like you have to get your eye near a worm. A fly can come and land on your eye while you're sleeping or something and deposit the worm.
Why would worm get on to fly?
So that it can get to your eyeball.
How does worm know? Worm is dumb.
They're talking about how relaxing and wonderful
that's joke that we told. How does worm know?
Yeah.
How does worm know?
I think it just waits around until it arrives someplace moist and warm.
This must be one of these things where like, as a fly lands, worms deposit like little baby worms onto the fly.
Yeah.
And then the fly carries it to another eyeball. That's got to be it, right?
Yeah.
It's a worm. It's an eyeworm pollination thing.
I think that may be it.
Oh God.
And
now why all of a sudden can they be on human eyes?
That we don't know. That is a mystery because up to this point it had not happened. Oregon woman, first case, but it's clearly the fact that they have now made it to humans.
What can I do to make my eyes less inviting or kill them if they're here and I don't know?
Never open your eyes again, maybe?
Okay.
That's a theory.
That's been my dream my whole life.
Just close your eyes.
I've never
and
wanted
stay
to.
in a ball.
I would love to do that. From your lips to God's ears, my friend. I would love to do that. If we have irritated, itchy eyes, should we just go check for worm now?
Definitely. I have more bad news for you. So she went to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. That's where the doctors in Oregon said, we don't know what the fuck is going on. Go there.
Okay. The doctor pulls out worm, goes, oh, fuck this.
Doctor observes worm. Oh, lady pulls out worm and says, look what I found in my eye.
How did lady find?
She obviously was like, this is itchy. She thought there was an eyelash in her eye. She pulled the worm out. No, listen to this sentence.
I thought they were translucent. How did she see it? How did she know? She just pinched it wherever she felt like the eyelash was?
Yeah.
This lady is bad at eyes.
Listen to this. Listen to this sentence. Are you ready for this?
I had this pain in my eye, so I just started pinching my eye.
I mean,
you know how when your eye hurts and you just start pinching it, uncontrollably pinching
just
it
start
to make
clawing at your own face because you can't stop the squirming that's under the surface?
You know how you feel a little squirming in your eye, and so you file your index nail down to a point and just start shoving it into your own eye?
Gouging your own eye.
Who is this woman?
She is...
It's a rhetorical question.
Okay. Here's this sentence. Ready for this?
Yeah.
Because she was able to pull the worms out of her eye better than the doctors were, she continued to remove worms from her eye for the next few weeks.
Oh, this lady was lying about how long she knew there were worms in her eye. That's what this tells me. Oh, yeah. So here's what's up. You pull one worm out of your eye. You go, holy shit, a worm got in my fucking eye. That's weird.
Yeah.
And maybe you like tell a friend or like you text somebody. You're like, lol, what the fuck? I pulled this out of my eye. And people are like,
Tuesday.
ugh.
That's your Tuesday.
That's like a Tuesday, right?
And you got this cool emoji, worm emoji.
You're like, worm.
And you got eyeball next to it.
Vomit, right?
Yeah.
And then a couple days later, your eye's still itchy. You pull out another worm.
Second one.
You go, ew, this is gross. But then you get afraid.
Yeah.
You go, oh, do I tell somebody about this?
Yeah.
Is this a normal thing? WebMD.
One's a fluke, two's a trend, three's a problem?
Three's a problem. And I think if this woman was already like super dope at pulling worms out of her eyes to the point where like she went to an eye doctor and the doctor was like, I don't know how to get this out of your eye. And she's like, let me show you. I filed my nail down to a point.
I've been doing this all week.
Yeah. She definitely had eye worms for multiple weeks before she told anybody. That's what this tells me.
So let me ask you this question, Anthony. You got eye worms. Are you telling anybody?
If I have an eye worm, I immediately remove both of my eyes, Event Horizon style.
Yeah.
And when my wife comes home and she goes, oh my God, what happened? You're like, no. It's good now. It was bad.
You're like Gloucester.
Now I'm just eyeless and weird.
You're like Gloucester from King Lear,
before.
right? You're like Gloucester from King Lear. You're just wandering the streets, telling everybody, "I had to do this."
Yeah. No, it was way worse before.
This is an improvement.
Yeah. This is like the end of Oedipus, right? Like it's just like, yo, it was bad. Trust me. Now we're good because I got rid of the eyes. The eyes were the problem. That's where the worms is, and now they're gone.
Yeah.
No, I would immediately, if there was anything, if I felt like there was a worm in my eye, I would be at the first doctor that could see me. I would be like ER. I would be like CDC like this woman. I would call the president. I would call my congressman. I would just be like, we have got to do something about my eye worms.
Yeah. You would, call
I don't know my neighbors, but I will knock on every one of their doors and be like, God help me, the eye worm is here.
Hey, hi. Is this about bringing the trash cans in? Because I promise I just forget about it.
No, fuck your trash. I got an eye worm.
Wait, what?
There's worms in eyes now. Might be because you never bring in your trash. Might be because we live on a trash road, but I'll tell you what definitely is happening. Worm in eye. Get it out.
Okay.
Get it out.
Oh my God.
Save me. Save me, trash neighbor. Actually, you're the wrong neighbor. Because of the trash thing.
Yeah.
Who's our cleanest neighbor?
I think it's you, ironically.
Fucking I've got an eye worm. Who knows what's wriggling around inside of you, trash man? This whole neighborhood's got to be burnt. I'm calling the army.
That's a Tuesday.
That's a Tuesday. That's what happens to me on Tuesday if I find an eye worm. I don't wait.
No waiting. Are you ready for this universe that we live in now where they say that there is...
What does the CDC say about this?
Well, they say that do not worry. It's extremely rare.
Cool. Dope.
They say that there was no permanent damage and really no way for permanent damage other than scratching your cornea, which you could do if you just rub it too hard and the worm scratched your cornea.
What if the worms already got into the CDC's eyes, though?
You're saying it's some sort of
I'm just saying
conspiracy that goes all the way down?
I don't know.
How deep is this conspiracy?
Like 6 inches. Because that's as far as the worms can go.
That's as far as
but
the
for
worms
a worm
know.
conspiracy, that's very deep. Yeah.
They say there were previously only known to be 2 species of worms that could infect humans worldwide. And now there's a third.
We did it, baby.
We're number 3. We're number 3.
I mean, this puts us up there with cattle. So that's dope.
Yeah, dude.
Wow. What a nightmare. What a one more thing to worry about. Let me ask you something. Are you going to check for eye worms all the time now?
Constantly. Do you know how often my eye itches?
Yeah. How long do you think after we do this story in weeks will you think you have eye worms? I will tell you, for me, 2 to 3.
That's it.
2 to 3. Oh,
and then you just forget about it?
But I'll be on to something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's only so much room for worry.
Only one thing can cause me abject terror at a time. Something is always causing me abject terror. But it's only ever one thing.
Well, my particular version of this isn't that I will walk through the day worrying about eye worms. It's that I will lay in bed thinking, maybe I should get up and just look in the mirror one more time.
Yeah. Like The Strain.
Yes.
I assume.
Yes.
I only ever saw the billboard and I hated it.
Yeah.
How about you, listeners, concerned citizens?
Are you glad you listened to this episode?
Probably not. Why not give it a 5-star rating on iTunes, though? Head on over to iTunes. Give this episode specifically a 5-star rating. You don't have to write a review, but put 5 stars and then put, this is definitely for the eye worm episode.
That's so we know.
That's so we know.
That you want more content like this.
Because all we care about is the 5-star rating, because that moves us up in the algorithm, and we need that so new people find the show and then get afraid of eye worms themselves. The best thing you can do for pain is pass it on to others.
Yeah, that's the golden rule.
And the best way to do that is to give us a 5-star rating on iTunes or to share this episode on social media. But also, I genuinely want to know how long you will be terrified of eye worms after this. You can give it in days, hours, weeks, months, rest of lifetimes.
Yeah.
Maybe it will last with you through reincarnation if you believe in that.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can absolutely share that on Twitter and hashtag them eyeworm.
Yeah.
I'm at Acarboni.
I'm at Jeff Canada.
And I'm sure Rob will be starting a thread about this in Facebook. And Rob specifically wants to talk to you about these eye worms. I can tell by the look on his face right now as we're recording.
He's definitely not squirming.
Our producer, Rob, wants to talk to you about nothing more than these eye worms. So please head to facebook.com/group/ we have concerns. Rob's post is probably already there.
Yeah.
And if it's not, just mention Rob in the Facebook group. Just at Rob Para and just be like, hey man, how about them eye worms?
The only reason that the post wouldn't be there is if he has eye worms.
Yeah. So definitely get there, talk to Rob about eye worms. Rob is an eye worm freak.